quick short one. 3, 2, and 1. Hey, hi guys, welcome to another day in the neighborhood, I guess. Welcome neighbors. Welcome everyone. For a lot of you guys, I've not been streaming too much. Personal things came into play, so currently was taking a small break from that. But now we're back making some content again. We're going to be making a couple of videos talking about the premium collection 2022. I know a lot of other content creators have done this before, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. We'll be splitting these up in a couple of different videos. We're going to be talking first about the G units, decks that some of those G units can be used in. Also, some of our chat is also going to be corroborating with some more information for us. If we happen to miss anything, they'll be like, hey, idiot, you know, you missed this deck that probably runs this thing, and this might be good in this situation. I'll be looking at it from a objective standpoint, like why would you ever want to run this over this? Or if you're going to run this over a different archetype, bear this in mind that some of these cards are entry-level cards, that they might not fundamentally replace another card, but it's a different option that you can go for if you're looking for a budgetary option. If some cards are difficult to come by, these are pretty okay replacements, and it's a good entry point for people, especially like currently in JP. Premium is starting to pop off super hard. And these are pretty good entry cards for some players who can't get any cards like X Gallop, because over there it's pretty expensive right now and very difficult to come by, because a lot of people over there don't really have a market to sell the cards. You usually sell them at the stores, or you trade them at the stores and stuff. It's more of a trader's market rather than a seller's market and buyer's market. Or if they're buying or selling stuff, they usually do by bundle. So it's very different culture in terms of getting cards sold and traded over there when it comes to premium fundamentally. And now we're going to be talking about some of the G units you might want to consider while playing some of these. And we're also going to be talking about the G Guardians in a second follow-up video, and then the reprints in a third one. I want to maybe make a fourth one talking about the winners and losers, but we can do that as we talk about at the end as a big wrap-up. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. If I miss anything, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for tuning in and stopping on by. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. Alright, cool. With our short intro. Thankfully we got this done by Jax for Knife. If that sounds very familiar, it's a buddy reference to a buddy fight card. It's also a content creator, a friend of ours, who did all this hard work in making both of these tier lists, the one for G units and the one for G Guardians. So thanks to him, thank God. So he separated these into different ban lists, into different tiers. Going on a ban list, Savior of the Clan, it's okay, but there's better options. It should be fine. Copium, and then there's Gold Paladin tier. He's kind of a fan of Gold Paladin, so he was a little bit of a little sagged that Gold Paladin was done dirty. And trust me, there's a few archetypes that are done pretty dirty in this set. I'm going to... Oh yeah, he crunched these out today. He's actually been sick, down in the weather, so prage for our homie. Let's see, Echo says Gridora is at $4 and Junior McGlass is at $3. Has you dying for real, thanks Japan. Megalanica is eating good as a set. I think Stoicheia overall, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think Stoicheia overall, even to the Neonectar one, all of them have their own different uses, and you're like, I could see myself using all of these. All of these. And then of course there's the Bermuda one, who's also pretty insane too. Alright, so we have first for Royal Paladin, the Stunned Divine Knight, Erogius. So like Erroneous, Devonius. Alright, so stride skill. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1, turn a card from each face up, draw the same number of cards as the number of your rear guards, and choose the same number of cards from your hand as the number of rear guards drawn, and call them to rear guard circle. Then, if you have 5 or more rear guards, get an imaginary gift force. So this is a cool thing, I guess, because like if you have 3 rear guards, right, you don't have to call them over your rear guard circle. You can just kind of fill up the rear guard circles that are currently open. You can even make it 4. You can attack with just the vanguard, or you can attack with your rear guards, the 2 rear guards in the front row. Draw 5, call 5, so you can reset your whole entire board. So you get like 5 attacks, which is not the worst thing. Calling over your rear guard circles does feel a little bit a little less optimal. It isn't. And just getting 1 force marker does still beg the question, like, would you even want to run this over something like Crystal Luster? But this does have its own niches of being able to facilitate a force marker, force generation, card draw, a bit of hand selection. So you could draw a couple of cards, a few of them could be triggers, but you have some rear guards you want to call. Or if you're playing something like Jewel Knight, it can actually give you 7 attacks or so, plus an extra force marker. I still rate it. It should be fine. It's okay, but better options. Like, it should be okay, but there's better options than this. It's a bit of a copium. I don't hate it. I think it's alright. It's okay. It's just okay. That's the thing about some of these collection cards. You'll be like, well, I could still see myself running this, but like, why would I run this over something else? Alright, so we have Holy Seraph. No, there's Happiness Spinning Nada Dragon King. It's the Oracle Think Tank, grade 4. I didn't even notice that this is like a Cosmo Dragon. Oh, I see the face now. Yeah, the artwork is kind of... it's kind of jarring. I thought over here was like the face. Like, it has abs on it, so I thought it had a human face. But that's kind of cool. Nanda. Happiness Spinning. A lot of people were gushing a little bit about this card, so let's take a read. Turn a card face up from your G-Zone. Reveal to the top cards at the top of your deck equal to the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone. Plus 2. So, fundamentally, you just take a look at top 3. Every extra added one gives you extra dig into your deck. Call all of the normal units, reveal from among them. Put all of the trigger units, reveal from among them in your hand. Shuffle your deck, then activate the trigger effects of all the reveal effects. You do get the over trigger if you reveal over trigger from the top of your deck, but you don't get the additional effect. You don't get the additional effect. That's the thing about it. So this works exactly the same way as Susanoo. If some of you guys... There you go. And he's ruled the same way. So he's ruled the same way because Susanoo says, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, reveal 2 cards up top of your deck and put them to your hand. Activate all of the trigger effects revealed from there. And if your soul has a grade 3, blah 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 blah. How this one is ruled is that if you do reveal an OT, since you are not drive checking into it, that's the only way to trigger the additional effect of it. You only get the 100 million power, which is still kind of crazy. But the best bonus of it too is that you get to add the over trigger to your hand, because then you can combo it with another G unit. Oh my gosh, I have to like look up for a bunch of these G unit stuff. Because there's a particular G unit that says, Oracle Think Tank is a grade 4 G unit that says, after you're done drive checking, at the start of drive check or the end of drive check, you can put cards from your hand into your deck and shuffle by redrawing, or you can play Lord of Guidance Wakahime, where then you can stack a OT on top of your deck and then you can just choose to drive it, which then gives you some pretty awesome play here. I really like archetypes like it, so I really think this is... I don't feel like there's a better option. I feel like this is just good. Savior. I put it into Savior. Personally, I think it's really just good. That's good. This gives you an extra thing to do. And it just gets more powerful as longer the game goes. And it doesn't like force you to like choose between it or Ichikishima, because you can just choose to play it alongside it too. You know? I think it's a really good card. Spectral says I'd agree. Yeah. And Jack says, yeah, same as Susan. Exactly, same as Lazy Susan. Alright, so we have Holy Seraph Zafkiel. A lot of people were a little upsetty spaghetti about this one, so let's take a read of it. Holy Seraph Zarafkiel. Discard a card from your hand, outside of additional stride cost. I don't know how to feel about that one. Like, decks that don't really accrue that much card advantage, especially something like Angel Feather, having to discard additional cards is sort of a feels bad, man. Choose a top. Let's see. Choose a total of 3 cards from your drop or circles other than your Vanguard and put them to your damage zone face up. All of your front row gets 10k power until end of turn for each normal unit put. This unit gets drive +1 until end of turn for each trigger unit put. Choose a card from your damage zone for every card put there and heal it. So you can swap your damages around. So the card that you discarded, you could probably swap it into it. So I guess if you are playing like the No-Steal package, you could put some of the No-Steal units in there. So this swaps. How do we feel about swapping? We finally have a first stride. This is actually a pretty okay first stride. Let's see. Yep, Grand Blue Stride loser. Agree. I mean, we haven't gotten to it yet. I think this is okay. It's a first stride. It's like, it gives you something to do. I'm surprised it doesn't flip up anything. This is surprising to me. It doesn't flip up anything. But I guess they're trying to play around the 2021 or 2020 Premium Collection stride that needed to be GB3 to have a guard restrict on you. Yeah, it's a counter charge for nothing. Kinda nothing. And a plus that allows you to set up pieces. And it gives your front row extra power. The one thing I have with it is that all of your current units get 10k power. So like all of the current units get 10k power. If this became a continuous skill, it's like for each normal unit in your damage zone, your front row gets +10 and have that be continuous. Or GB3 or GB2 at least. Maybe GB2. Maybe, I don't know. But have this be maybe for every 2 normal units in your damage. 10k to your front row. This could be good. It's okay. You can get like 6 drive checks. Yeah, it gets +1 drive for every trigger put. So you can have potentially 6 drive checks. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I personally don't think there's anything better. I personally don't think there's anything better. For its own archetype, for your first stride, especially with angels, it gives you something to do. Yeah, exactly. It unlocks your units too, right? Because it chooses from circles. So it also chooses your circle. So it also unlocks your units for you. So that's pretty alright. It's okay in my book. Your Happy Bell No-Steals to drop? Exactly. This just gives you so much play. It gives you so much extension. I like it. I would say it's a savior. Alright, so we have Shadow Paladin. I don't know if there's anything that can be better than Morfessa, but from what I saw before the reveal, I still don't see it. I think this is pretty good in like other archetypes that are not using Chain Ranker, I guess. But this, I don't need. Like, I like it. I like this card too. So let's get into it. Let's see it for a second. Act Vanguard Circle. Cost: retire 2 rear guards to your rear guard. So the retirement is negligible. Your opponent chooses 3 of theirs. And retires them if 3 were not retired until end of turn. Until end of turn, this unit gets auto Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, at the end of battle, this unit attacked. Kind of last one, retire 2 rear guards and stand this unit, plus 10k. I don't think Luard ever wants to run this, but it can run one of it because you have so much space in your G-Zone. It might not seem so, because obviously a lot of people are just going to be pumping up your G-Zone with like 2 to 3 Morphesas, 3 sometimes minimum. But now this can take up one of the slots of the Morphesas you probably were going to run, because I don't know, there's a lot of people who survive past 2, but it can eat some of the other stuff, like Diablo, I guess. This is basically a Diablo. Because it also retires something, so I could see this. It does retire 2 more of your rear guards, so you have to retire 4. So you have to retire additional 2 extra outside of this. So it's Diablo retires 3, this retires 4. So I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a good setup for Morphesa if your hand is looking kind of lame, or if your opponent's damage denying you. Like if your opponent's damage denying you out of your Morphesa turn, this is an okay option. Because this is basically the main, right? The main feeds itself, right? And then you call like 2 rear guards on 2 of your force markers, or 1 of your force marker, or no force marker, and just swing with one of the columns. And then if you get triggers or anything like that, you give it to the other column, but you're running stands, so you might as well attack with the other rear guard. So this is sort of a very hypothetical. This is a huge hypothetical. I still think this is good. This is a good card. This is... I don't know if it's Savior. Like, we should have something else that should be outside of Savior. Like, it's okay, but better options. I'll leave it here. Like, I'll put it the low end of Savior. This is good with other archetypes, like Revengers. This is good, but you would usually just go into Chain Ranker anyway. So I don't see it. But retiring 2 your rear guards gives you some extra multi-attacks with Revenger, so hey. The restand is more free than goals. And talking about goals, should we just basically put goals in there already? No, Copium.
FBI, open up!
Yo, W Slasher, thank you so much. I appreciate the raid, homie. Appreciate it. Thank you. Alright. So we took a look at these 2. It's not bad, not the worst, but not bad. Alright. Golden Knight of Glory. That's cool, I guess. It varies. Golden Knight of Glory. Continuous. All of your regards placed by card's ability this turn gets 5k. So this is sort of like Scourge Point. Grill Paladins? Yeah, Grill. How you doing? When his unit attacks, come last 1, put all of your rest of rear guards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand and call them to rear guard circle. If you put more than 4 cards at the bottom of this deck at the end of battle, stand this unit and it gets drive -2 until the end of turn. This is literally Gold Paladin here. Oh my god, that is not a card. I'm sorry, that is... What? This is basically if you're actually out of gas, right? So, okay. Like, even in a magical Christmas land scenario, TLDR, this unit seems inspired from Thiegra. Yeah, but it seems so... Okay, so... I'm thinking about it in my head right here, right? So you have a board of Wonder Ezel in hand, Wonder Ezel, Sagramore, and Wonder Ezel, Sagramore, Max Slash, right? Or you can go Wonder Ezel, Max Slash. No, sorry. Wonder Ezel, Sagramore, and then you call off a Sagramore and your Wonder Ezel. You can call like Max Slash and stuff. So I guess it's built for decks like Gurgwit, I guess. But still, you have Spearcross. I don't see it. I don't see it. I still don't see it. I guess that's kind of the idea of like, if you basically play some of the cards that allow you to call stuff, that seems like exactly like Dreamland scenarios. Because then Wonder Ezel doesn't get power from himself, right? He's only a 9k base. If he does gain power, I think it's like 3k if I remember, but I don't think he does. So then on the axle marker, that would make him 12-17 plus that'd be 22. 27 for max slash. You do hit a little bit of numbers. You do hit some. The only way you ride this in order colony matchup, he gives called units by ability 5k power. Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking about, Slasher, yeah. Because like that's the 5k I'm counting as well. Like all your regards called by a card's ability this turn, so including your Vanguard ability. So that'd be 19 actually then. Especially if you call it an axle marker, then it's 19, 22, 27. Yeah, 19, 22, 27, and then if Max Slash feels like calling something else, especially if you call like Aglavale out of your hand, you attack with Aglavale, attack with Max Slash CB1, call Aglavale, Aglavale gets another 5k, then another 10k from his own skill, so that'd be 19, 29, 39, which is not, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm actually saying Copium on this one. I'm saying Copium. It's Copium, but you basically have to play Gurgwit. You need to play Sagramore, Wonder Izzle, Superior Call out of your hand combo deck to make this worthwhile. Gurgwit gives more, why not stay on Gurgwit? Because you're not always gonna get a Percival. Nobody's built that way. Nobody's built that way. Are you gonna open up the one-off Percival, homie? Huh? Nobody's built that way. Come on. Just be built that way. Duh. It's premium. It's at 4. Oh, they are 4. Oh, okay. Well, then that makes it. Yo, that makes it better. It should be fine. Copium. It's 5k more. You get a Gurgwit plus a restand, bro. Come on. Okay, I think it's still in its own tier because of the fact you have to play Gurgwit to make it work this way. You can't really play this in something like Pure Ezel. I think Gurgwit is the only deck that makes this work because obviously a lot of these strides are built with the ideology of playing V cards with them, and this feels very Gurgwit. This feels very Gurgwit, so yeah. Okay. It's still Gold Paladin tier. It's not bad. I personally feel it should be fine, but you could run literally Spearcross and still get the same amount of pressure off on your first strike turn, because that's what you're aiming to do anyway. So I guess you could go Spearcross into this card, because you'll have a board left over of all of your other cards you're bashing your opponent's face with. Probably running front triggers to also get some extra power in, because crits in a deck like this don't really matter that much. You want your front row to be able to hit, especially if you're just going face being the play. If you're getting multi-attacks go off too. Yeah, it's kinda nutty. Yeah, okay. This is a lot better than I thought it would have been. At least processing it in my mind, it's a bit better. Hi Ed, how you doing, dude? It's a bit better. Okay, it's not as doo-doo. Obviously, you'd probably just go like Spearcross twice into Ultima. That's probably just your win condition. But you know, can't hit it. Offering Souls, Heavenly Dragon, Jagada. Oh my god, I know some of these cards are named after like gods and mythical creatures and all that stuff, but god, man, as an English-speaking person, I'm tempted to say Jagadi, and that'd be very ignorant to say, so I'm trying to say its proper name. Dagna. Dear God. Ayo, who this? Jagdag. Oh my god. Lurka. Ludka. Alright, thank you. I can't with this. Jigatti the Bugatti. Exactly. But I'd be very ignorant. I'd be very disrespectful to a culture or religion if I were to name it whatever I wanted to. I can't do that. I'm not about that life. I'm not brave enough. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, turn a card from your zone face up. Choose any number of cards with different grades from your drop zone. Put them into your soul. Good already. And this unit gets plus 10k until end of turn. I don't know if this is better than Amaruda. This is not better than Amaruda, but it's parallel. It's a parallel card. It gives you something to do first turn if you don't have a target for Amaruda. This is good on its own if you don't have any rear guards to call. I think this is alright. I think this is okay. It doesn't really matter what the second skill does, to be honest. Choose any number of cards different grades from your drop zone, put them in your soul, and this unit gets 10k until end of turn. When your opponent's unit is put in the Guardian Circle other than the deck, Soul Blast 3, retire that unit. Your opponent looks at the top 3 cards of the deck and calls the Guardian Circle. This can kind of backfire. This can kind of backfire a little bit. Because it doesn't say negates anything. So if your opponent were to put down a PG or something, it still resolves. It still does its thing. But if your opponent were to G-Guard, you're basically giving your opponent a plus. Oh, this is a rough one. This is it's a lot worse than I thought it would have been. It kind of does matter what it does now. You can close out the game with it though, especially if your opponent's like over-guarding. You can try mill out your opponent if you have enough soul for it. Yeah, your opponent looks at the top card of the deck and call. It can be a random card too. But if they end up hitting a PG off the top, Ash Blossom, then different story. Exactly, just chain Ash Blossom, bro. Exactly, especially when you're gonna search through the deck for a better PG. Nah, just Ash it. Nah, it's okay. Like it should be fine. Copium. Like retiring a Guardian from the Guardian Circle it's okay, and especially if you could like make your opponent commit more cards from their hand, especially if you're shooting it. This is a melee Ballerina, and it kind of feeds itself because you're choosing 4 from your drop, right? Oh, it's actually choose any number of cards. Any number of cards with different grades. So you can go from 0 to 5 if you'd want to, especially if you're playing something like Astro Poets, which is a huge possibility. You can have, 5 cards in your soul. And that kind of feeds itself, plus your ride line, so you can shoot 2 units. It's not bad, especially if you're trying to close out the game. The opponents probably have like 5 or 6 cards left over, especially how the game has been going. If it's been fast or a bit slow. Okay. It should be fine, Copium. Don't know if I would want to run it, though. I mean, obviously, you would want to run this. Like, you have so much space in Genesis. You sometimes stride, and if you do, it's usually like Amaruda, maybe Fenrir, maybe, yeah, it's usually just some of the Amaruda units. Or if you're playing Regalia, you're just mostly going to your Regalia stuff. Amaruda and then Earth. And that's it. You're rarely going to any other thing. There's Madurk. Madurk is not bad either. So, you have enough space. Usually it's filled up with like a bunch of G-Guards and stuff though, so. This is like, hey, it's alright. Put us in. This is tried as a threat in aspects? Yes, exactly. It feeds itself for you being able to shoot your opponent's Guardian Circles. It threatens lethal on your opponent, especially if you're going Force 2, which most archetypes go Force 2. Not a lot of decks go Force 1 these days, especially in something like Regalia or Fenrir, for example. Most of those decks don't really need it. You could go Force 1 in Fenrir because of Amaruda giving you a crit, but not so much, since you don't have access to Taro anymore in Fenrir. Since that was the biggest thing of its combo, but you can play like a control version of the list. Plus, it doesn't soul charge from exactly. It soul charges from drop, and a lot of the G guards soul charge from drop too. So this can cook up something good. This can cook up good food. It's an on attack skill too as well. That's not bad. Yeah, it's all right. I wonder if you would ever want to play the starter, the Fenrir starter anymore though, because some people used to run it because it would allow you to do some small little it would give you a cheeky multi-attack in the middle of a battle, because then you could soul blast something like Vanagander, and then you can have a retire plus a scry, so then you can attack with a rear, soul blast from an effect or something, call Vanagander off of the starter or off of your Fenrir, which might have been your on strike, and then like on strike Fenrir or the rear guard Fenrir, and then you have a little bit of multi-attack shenanigans going on. Okay, all right. So we have. Did we place it? Okay, cool. So we have Divine Dragon Knight Barakat. I know what his skill does, so we'll read it. I'll still read it. When it attacks, cost, turn a card face up in your knee zone. And if your opponent has 3 or more open rearguard circles, this unit gets plus 10k. Plus 1 drive until end of battle. If they have 5 or more, all of your rearguards get plus 10k. Go Paladin. I hope I don't have to justify it, but I will. There is no way on God's green earth, if you're ever playing... Okay, let's pretend Overlord doesn't exist. Let's pretend one of the biggest aspects of Kagero currently of the modern day doesn't exist. This card is okay in decks like... Lawkeeper, I guess. Fight to the page, J.J Here for you. I guess it's okay in Lawkeeper Premium. It's okay in Eugene Premium. Sure. Sure. Yeah. If your opponent... Okay. I can see where this, in a perfect world, could work if your opponent says, haha, Kagero player, I'm not gonna pre-commit any cards, and I'm gonna leave 5 rearguard slots open. Haha, idiot. I'm not gonna give you... But, like, you're gonna try kill them anyway, right? You're going for Dumbjit Valor. You know what I mean? You see how... This is okay in anything outside of Overlord. This is alright. It's okay. I'm getting aneurysm as I'm saying this. My eyebrows audibly... It's physically twitching right now. God. The art is cool though. I will give it... Like, take a look at this artwork. You can't hate this art. It's like a demon boy. Look at him. So mad. Same. Good. Has a little Tachikaze vibe going on, a little Inferno demon thing going on. What are your no CB options? Zomburst. I retire your opponent's board. Dumbjit. Dumbjit Valor. If your opponent doesn't have any rearguards, you get a restand. If they G guard or perfect guard. Literally any of the other shrines. Any of them. Higher than gold in your opinion? Oh yeah, true. It's still a bit better. Cool. Okay, if Kagero, if Overlord didn't exist, it would be here. I'll be very honest. If Kagero didn't exist, not Kagero. If Overlord didn't exist, it's here. But Overlord exists, so that's it's here. Well, I can't find any other reason for it to exist. Now you know my conundrum. Like, I'm thinking too, right? So, like, Eugene Premium, it's not bad. So you could play Eugene Premium, right? You can play it in Blade Master premium, then you need to use Cohen, that old Blade Master deck. And then this could be okay, sure. Because then you get a drive check, but then if you do that, you could just play Dumjet Valor and then still get the same stuff. Alright, so we have ourselves, I think this is Murakumo or Nubatama? Nubatama. Yo. Nubatama's been pretty decent, these premium collections. These premium collection sets. They've been really doing a good job trying to give them multiple things to do. I like that. Cost, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Choose 3 units from your opponent's drop zone. Your opponent chooses any number of cards from among them and calls them to rearguard circle. So you're giving your opponent, hey, have these things. Your opponent's cards auto abilities do not activate from this call. Your opponent chooses a card from their hand for each unit called and discards it. For each card that was not called from the cards you chose, draw a card. Jesus Christ, and all of your front units get plus 10k until the end of turn. Yeah, boy. So you could potentially give your opponent cards. You're like, hey, here opponent, have some cards. Here, have this one. Have that one too. Oh, you want that one? Have that as well. That's nice. And you're... This is good. This is a good first stride. This is good. Yo. I don't think it's saved, but damn. I don't think it's like saved right, but the thing is, it does so much. Because if your opponent doesn't have any cards in a drop zone, you could be like, well, that's fine. I'm just gonna draw 3. And then all my front row is gonna get 30k power. Okay, cool. You punish them for not committing. So another stride that punishes the... Yeah, it's a Dragon Empire thing. So the Kagura one also punishes your opponent for no committals. So no pre-commits. And this also punishes your opponent for not, like, guarding proactively and stuff like that in between of the games. Because you still get to draw a card at least, right? Especially if you get first stride. Because, like, what is your opponent playing, especially if it's not something like Grand Blue? They're playing something like Genesis, Great Nature. A lot of those archetypes and decks, at the first stages of your first turns in Premium, there's not a lot of stuff going to your drop zone. I think like a maximum of 2. There's some moments you're using like 1 or 2 Heal Guardians. So that's like 2 cards maybe going to your drop. Like one is a 10k shield, 15k shield, like a trigger. The other one is a Heal Guardian, right? And yeah, and I think that's it. Usually, unless they want to overguard. The thing is that does make me nervous is that your opponent chooses. So if you're playing against something like Messiah, and they're playing like Hyaki reverse Messiah or Himiko reverse, you can get the Vault Word. And that's kind of nasty looking. He'll be like, hey, thanks homie, I'm gonna call my Vault Words right here. It's funny though, but hey, I like it. I like it a lot. It's I don't know if it's like the savior of the... It's savior of the set. Yeah, sure. Savior of the set. Not of the clan, but of the set. Alright, and then we got Tachikaze. I honestly don't remember this. I remember it being pretty okay though. So it has the engorge ability, so a lot of the strides have these, which is pretty alright. When this unit becomes engorged, cost. Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G zone face up. Choose the same number of your rear guards and a number of the units retired by its ability until end of turn. They get plus 10k power and auto rear guard circle. At the end of battle, this unit attack cost. Soul Blast 1, stand this unit. That's nuts. Glockosaurus Rex. Oh god, I didn't even notice it. Jesus. The Blicky. It has a sight on it too. It has a laser sight on it. So because of his small arms, right, he probably can't really see where he's pointing. So he's using a laser sight to help aim. Oh my god, that's precious. Subtle detail. I love the random axe. Same. It's like, what is he even gonna try to reach, bro? What is he reaching? I guess it's like close quarters. If like raptors and stuff are trying to chomp at his legs, he can like swing, swing low at a couple of them. Aiming is hard, lol. Oh, cute. It's cutest thing. I think it's good. I think it's really good. The Soul Blast one is it's kind of scary though. I think you might, yeah, you can soul charge a lot in yeah, you can soul charge a bit. Yeah, this could work. And it's a good card. Hey Ral, welcome back, homie. Yeah, it's a good card. I think this is a good card. Cute artwork. Yeah, a lot of people are not even concerned about his skill, they're concerned more about his artwork. Oh, I love it. I love they don't take themselves seriously sometimes when they do artwork. I like it. Alright, Ambush Demon Stealth Rogue. Izushitome. I don't know what it is. Those names I can pronounce properly, or semi-properly. This does have CB skill. Counterblast 1. Put a normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck, and turn a card face up. Off the cuff already, I like this card. You getting back a unit back into your deck that you can copy later on in the match is nuts. Nuts. It's nuts. It's so good already. Bro, what? That's so good already. Alright, then choose up to 2 of your rear guards. Search your deck for up to 1 card of the same name as those units. Call each of them to rear guard circle, shuffle your deck. Free cards. Free cards. Free cards. And imagine if it's one of the rear guards you also send back to. This is something that Neo Nectar probably should have done, or should have had. Why did Neo Nectar have this skill, bro? What? Fine. Call him and shove. Did it accidentally, like, give this to Murukumo and not to Neo Nectar? Because you could have just copy-pasted this on Neo's, and you could have brought Bloom back. Like, Bloom could have come back with this skill. Y'all don't agree? Hard agree, I would think, right? Like, Bloom could do something with this. Continuous. All units can attack from the back row while you have a unit with the same card names as themselves. What? Bloom, bro? This is a rip-off, dude. It's a good card. This is a good card, though. Yeah, this could have saved Neo's, man. Bushy is scared of 10-minute Bloom combos. True, but the cards are so good. Let's see. Conquering Supreme Dragon, Exterminate Dragon. Ah, yes. The classic. Dragon. Gotta love to see it. What a time to be alive. Exactly. So this is the Narukami unit. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, draw a card for each of your opponent's front row open rear guards. So again, something like Golds or Nightmare Dolls. This hits a lot of stuff. This pluses a lot from a lot of things. Okay, let's read the rest of the skill. Because I'm here thinking, why would you ever want to run this over Stun-Burst? Not run it over it, but like stride this instead of first turn Stun-Burst. Alright, let's take a look. Counterblast 1. All of your front row rear guards get plus 10k from each of your opponent's front row open. So it feeds into itself. And especially if you own rear guards that already have binding effects. But this is act. This is all act ability though. This is also when placed. And plus it doesn't bind a card on place either. I'm thinking about it. It's not as good as I would think. You could pre-commit some Eradicator cards that can maybe bind. Like Cho-Oh can get rid of stuff. You have Rockline Dragoon for Vanquisher to bind stuff. You have Jaggy Shot. But a lot of those cards are like Battle Bind. You don't have a lot of main phase bind. Maybe in Eradicator you have some main phase stuff. Yeah, it's another Punisher stride, yeah. This does have niche situations, though. But the thing is, Stun Verse with Eradicators gives you way more power than something like this could. This is okay in Vanquisher, maybe? But, I don't know, I don't see it. I don't see it yet. There's so much that, yeah, I don't know. I'll put it, it's fine. Yeah, I'll put it, it's okay, but better options. Yeah. Yeah. Also, you get more power per Axel marker? Yes, correct. Yeah. You do. You draw more cards and you get more power per Axel. So if you're going into something, it's matchup dependent. That's the thing. It's matchup dependent. Like, it's better into something like Nightmare Dolls. Because then you don't have to worry about your opponent having any open rearguard circles. Because when usually they're done with their first grade 3 turn and they ride back down, right? Especially if they set up like a double Carol into grade 2. And you're also building some circles. And then they go into a first grade 3 turn. Especially when you ride into grade 3 because there's no reason for you to like ride down whatsoever. Do people play Vicho and Premium? Yes. At least there are some people who do when they play Vanquisher, yes. Some people don't. I think there are some people who play like 2 copies of it. And that's what I'm thinking to use with this. Yeah, this is fine. Like Vicho, I used to run Vicho in my my premium Vanquisher because it's a restanding multi-attacker that would get a lot of power, especially if you're running on Vanquisher. So it hits out of 24 to 34 on its own, and especially if you drove into a critical, it restands with a crit, which is pretty spicy. Yeah, I like it. Alright, okay, so now we are on to Stargate, I think, right? Yeah, we're on to Stargate, 3 cards to Stargate. Or Brant Gate. Let's take a look here. Fighting Emperor Dragon, Merciless Dragon. Yes, the Dragon Classic. It is a space dragon. Counterblast 1, discard 2 cards from your hand, status unit. And if it's during, if it's your main phase, attack your opponent's Vanguard with this unit. This is basically Beast Deity support. At the end of battle, this unit attack, this unit gets drive -1. It's basically Beast Deity support, because this Beast Deity is the only archetype with like Brainy Papio that can facilitate this. For other archetypes, it's okay, but there are better options. It's pretty artwork. I've tried to make this work. I tried to build a deck. I've seen people build it and made it based off of what I was thinking, and I saw the list. I was like, yeah, that's more or less what I was thinking, but that still doesn't feel like it's worth it to me. You know what I mean? It just eats so much CB for no reason. No, bro. You could rather go Bustard. Like, if you want to do this, you play Victor, and if you're gonna do this in Victor, then you might as well play Bustard, because you basically have the same thing happen to you, plus you're digging for your Overtrigger anyway, and this gets less drive checks per instance that you do this, you know what I mean? I think we're still on Dragon Empire. The Double Dragon Special? True. Double Dragon Special. Like, even in Blau, you'd probably want to go into your own Blau stride. Can Risers use this? If there's like good Riser stuff. Not really. No, there's no good premium Riser support, I feel. Not yet, at least. No good Riser strides. There's no good archetype specific strides for any of them either. Let's take a look here. I think Beast Deity is like the only other archetype that makes use of this. Like any of it. It's alright, but I just rather just run my Bustard. Alright, and then we have the Dimensional Police one. Cosmo Winger on Unibird Galaxy. Alright, so auto. Oh, he has a burst ability. Ooh, that's good. The fact that he has a burst ability is really good because it combos with our little card that we like to call Operator Girl Rinka. And her skill allows you to give a unit with a burst ability extra power and the ability to retire PGs. Sentinel cards, sorry, not just PGs. Sentinel cards from your Guardian Circle. So something with like a Laurel under this is really good. So let's take a look at the skill. We haven't even read the skill, and just the fact that it having a burst ability is pretty big. So, Continuous Vanguard Circle. This unit gets plus 10k power for each card in total among your damage zone and rear guards. Dimensional Police does tend to take a beating after 2 Geoma Glass. You have a lot of space in your G zone anyway, so you can either trim down 1 G guard. Of course, you want to keep all your Geoma Glass because that's the biggest part of your win condition. I think you have space. I think you can cut a couple things. There's like maybe 2 X Gallop. You're gonna run one of this. I don't see a reason not to run this. It's the Auto Vanguard Circle. When it's unit attacks cost to the card from your G zone face up, and this unit gets plus 50,000. If this unit is 50,000 or more, to end a battle, this unit gets plus 1 crit. And if this unit is plus 100,000 or more, this unit gets plus 1 drive. This is predicated on you having a Laurel, or you being on 5 damage and 5 G units face up. So then you could also argue, why not just going to get X Gallop then? Because then you at least get a restand and you have 2 chances of one-shotting your opponent. But this is like 1 large swing, plus extra critical, plus extra drive checks. Huh. It's a tough one. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. Because you could do this first ride if you have a Laurel over something like an X Gallop. Because X Gallop does tend to need a Die Armor if your opponent has more than 10 cards in hand, which does tend to happen, depends on what archetype you're playing against. Let's see, what decks can have more than 10? Let's see, Nova Grappler, Great Nature, what other Stoic Chaos Nation, Order Colony, Nightmare Dolls maybe sometimes. Usually they sit around like the 9 to 8 card mark, depends on how much they needed to ride down, because they have to discard off Carol sometimes. But you could hit like a couple draw triggers too in between. If not pre-committed any cards the turn before, it's still pretty okay. The Mirror Match maybe, DP Mirror Match can oftentimes be this as well. Shadows could have a decent hand size, OTT for sure. Aquaforce has like 15 million cards. So it's really dependent on like if they have Die Arm then. If it makes this worth going first try. I feel there might be better options that I'm missing, so I'll put it here. I'll put it on the high end of here. I do feel like it's a pretty good savior though. Like whether or not you want to go into this or into something else. Oh god, like one is not strictly better. There are situations where like the restanding doesn't matter if you end up basically not having any drive checks. Because this just keeps all your drive checks that you gain. Or just turns into like 1 large attack. Yeah, Aquaforce, Bermuda. And now we have Link Joka. We took a while on that one because we really needed to think about like Unibirds over Gallop situation. Because especially if your opponent survived X Gallops for some odd reason, Like, if you don't own X Gallops, this is fine. Like, if you don't own any X Gallops, then this is a fine card to run. But if you own X Gallops, then you might... I would still probably put this in my binder, or at least put it in my G-Zone for, like, and test with it to see how it feels, right? And that's how a lot of the design aspects of what Bushiroad has been doing that I love so much. Like, obviously, some people can say, like, oh, this card is objectively worse. But there are moments, you know, sometimes where you just want to get the extra drive checks without going through extra hoops for it. The power threshold is easier to gain if you do it on a card like this, because this gets a bigger power threshold than X Gallop does, especially on a GB3 turn. Because on a GB3 turn, this is on 80k power already, you know what I mean? Because especially if you have 5 damage. So with 5 damage and 3 face up, this is 80k power already on its own. So you're already hitting the threshold of the extra critical, and plus if you have a boost, if you have a boost with it of over 10k or so, over 10 to 20k from any outside sources, if you have a Laurel on your first GB3 turn, you can hit some pretty nasty thresholds already. After that, it's easy reprint, but people in JP don't own them. Yeah, JP players don't own them, and I'm thinking about the JP players too, since they also play premium. No, not to you. It's just sort of like, it's crazy to me that JP players are looking at premium too. So it's just like, it's a wild occurrence. Yeah, like Simplified has been waiting almost a year now for his X Gallop so that he can play DP. So I was thinking of like, yeah, if you don't own any X Gallops, you can run this as 2 to 3 up until you get X Gallops, and you could trim this back a little bit. So say for example you're at GB2 or GB3 and you're at 5 damage, very little hand resource, but you can probably pull off a Laurel and with a Linka, and probably it's like your last push to kill off your opponent, and you can't make it to an X Gallop. This is fine, because with an X Gallop you'd only hit like 40k and you need to pray for triggers. This can do this on its own with less resources needed. So okay, yes, this is where the line of thinking I needed to figure out, like why you would ever want to run a card like this. Yes, this is alright. This is okay. Alright, cool. So we're basically like where did I put it? Yeah, it's on the top end of, it's okay but better options. It's a good entry card, and it's a good card if you're on poor resources, poor attackers, but you can probably squeeze out a Laurel. It's okay. It's good if people damage and die too. Exactly, and you have a lot of G-Zone up, you know? And you have like 3 damage, and you don't have any yeah, because it doesn't require any CB either, right? Yeah, it doesn't require any CB. Oh, yeah, even better reasons too. Cool. So let's take a look at Nebula Dragon, Cosmodon Dragon, Dragon. It is a Cyber Dragon. Your reference. Cool. Stride. When this unit attacks, cost. Column last one, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 cards from among them, put it into a rearguard circle as lock cards, shuffle your deck, then choose any number of lock cards and unlock them for each card or return it to your hand. For each card returned to your hand, your opponent chooses one of their rearguards and locks it. So your opponent chooses their own cards, you don't get to choose. Yeah, it's kind of a Messiah thing to do. This does feel more Messiah-esque in comparison to some of the other cards we've gotten in some of the collections, especially the one that deletes markers. That one is pretty good. Barrier Wind is a pretty good card. Getting extra criticals while deleting markers, it's pretty sexy, but it does leave you with a turn that you're not doing anything. It's fine in some respects, but some it's sort of yikes. The top 7 search does allow you to set up. If you're playing deleters, this does feel pretty okay too to play with. Messiah is pretty fun if you want to put it in. If you want to play with this, it's still weaker in your first turn Stride Messiah because you have Basilitis, but this does allow you to set up. I feel Basilitis is still way better than this. And let's see, does Chaos need anything to do with this? There are some utility cards you might want to get out to your deck with Chaos, possibly, but like locking your own cards is kind of monka. You can bounce them back to your hand, so you can like take a look and find PGs and then add it to your hand. Search for PGs, you can search for stride fodders, utility pieces, utility things. If you have the CB for it and you have like a kind of a slow turn, this is not the worst card to run into. I wouldn't think Basaltis is just better. It's a side grade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I feel it's a side grade too. To just the same thing like the Cosmo Ringer. The fact that this allows you to set up, and you have Basaltis when you're already set up. This is not the worst thing you could ever run. Because you could also get your grade 3s back to your hand. So if you're running something like G Messiah, for example, or any G grade 3 or something, you can add any of your other V version to your hand. A Strike Fodder, a PG, a Heal Guardian, or any of those things you can add to your hand. Plus also tempering your opponent out as well. And it's put as locked so you don't have to worry about Gridora. This is good into Gridora. Especially if like, you need to get extra copies of grade 3s to your hand. This seems kind of sexy. Yeah, the incidental lock and like getting your opponent off guard. Correct. Although from limit testing, the lock can hit people off guard, especially if they're setting up. If they're having cards like, if they have like utility pieces they set up from before, like a couple turns before and stuff. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think there's much stuff like great, like there's not a lot of cards that set up. Like maybe if they have only one Beatrice, if you're playing against Grand Blue, and they did like a Night Rose combo, or they did like a Beatrice turn, committed a Beatrice, and they only have like one Beatrice left, they would need to go into Bad Bounty to find a way to Soul Blast. All in all, I'm saying this is pretty alright. Yeah, it should be fine. Like, it's a lot better than people give it credit for. And that's the kind of the theme of the set, right? I think it's the theme of the set. It's like, a lot of these cards are okay. You feel that there are better options, but then when you sit down and actually think, like, damn, yeah, there are moments when I've had, like, wow, I wish I had something other than this to stride into. And that's out of these strides. This is the B team, right? This is the B team strides. These are the guys who are like, yeah, the A team isn't here right now, or like we're in a situation that our A team can't do their best. We're the B team. We're gonna do our best. Yeah, you know. Yes, I like this. We'll always have an empty field though in this matchup, but it's alright. When in a situation you're right for the A team, you go to this. Exactly. I guess so. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh, and I should probably be a bit more open-minded with some of these cards. I do think the Gold Paladin is a lot better than people give it credit for. You do have to play something like Gurgwit to make it work better, but a lot of people like, well, if I have to play Gurgwit to make it work, that doesn't mean that doesn't make it a good card. True, but if you have a board that you set off of a Spear Cross in your first grade 3 turn, this isn't a bad alternative. This isn't that bad. You always have CB up because of Din Drain, and you always have extra play because of Din Drain. So it's okay. It's okay. I rate it a bit higher. Mentally, I'm rating it higher than how it is. And we have the Spike Brothers stride. I kind of just really want to put it on the battle list already because playing against some of my friends when they play Spike Brothers make me feel big baby rage mad. Man, Spikes just beat the hell out of me. Just take my lunch money. Lawless King Gali Gabrus. Fair enough. Stride. Auto Vanguard Circle when your rear guard attacks, this unit gets plus 10k until end that unit. Oh my god, I can't read. Read, please. Auto Vanguard Circle. When your rear guard attacks, this unit gets that unit gets plus 10k until end of battle. And the end of the battle, put that unit at the bottom of the deck. It's a mandatory skill. So basically, you gave a break ride turn to your stride turn, more or less, right? Because this is the This is the break ride of that one grade 3, right? Bad End Dragger? Yeah, this is basically Bad End Dragger. Proof Core is already concocting 12 attacks, turns with his guy. Yeah, Proof put up a YouTube video talking about it, actually. It's kind of nutty. It's kind of nuts. Kind of crackarooskied. This already on its own, it's kind of nuts, I feel. 10k, auto, with your card going to the bottom of the deck. A card that you probably didn't really care about being there. A card that you were like, yeah, it's alright. This is kind of cool. And especially if you're playing something like Rising Nova as your grade 3, your main grade 3, or just any of your spike grade 3s that have markers on them, since I think almost all of your deck does, especially if you're not playing stuff like Hellhard 8. This is already as good as Hellhard on your first stride turn. It's kind of crap. This is Dudley Emperor break written on Bad End Dragger in one card, basically. And then when this unit attacks, cost Soul Blast 1, search your deck for 2 grade 2 or less cards. Call them to open rear guard circle and shuffle your deck. Then all your rear guards get to do something on a turn. There are some rear guards. There are some grade 2s that have the skill of being able to attack from the back row. By the way, there are a couple grade 2 promos that exist that can attack from the back row if you either you have a grade 3 in your front row or if you have a force marker or a marker on it in general. So you can attack, call stuff, right? Hopefully get a grade 3, especially if you're using Spike Bouncer. Spike Bouncer probably calls a grade 3 because you're playing like 12 to 13 grade 3s, who knows? You call a grade 3 from it. The other grade 2 that you called, the other grade 3 that you ended up calling, gets extra 10k power, or probably has a crit marker on top of it, crit marker on top of it, and you're just like bashing with so much extra pressure. Especially if you're playing a charge lineup, you can also like charge some of your units by binding them. So both of the auto abilities will trigger, so you get to attack with 10k, and then you bind it after, and then it resets itself. Man, you have so much extra play. Because you also get to resolve the autos in order you want to. That is kind of crazy. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, this is nuts. Oh man, this is so nuts. I can't even. And you don't even need any CB for it. Like, everything is Soul Blast reliant. And you got to draw so much cards off of it too. Okay, this is... I want it banned, but it's the savior. I hate it. I hate it exists. I hate what it stands for. It's ugly. Hi Poppy, how you doing, dude? Welcome. Hopefully you're doing A-okay today, brother. Where were we? We read this. Alright. Deep Hades, Emperor of Ultimateness of Vorflax. Vorfalks. Alright. G-Zone Auto. At the end of battle, that your grade 3 Vanguard attack your opponent's grade 3 greater Vanguard. If your Vanguard is grade 3 and your soul is 13. Why did you need to confirm twice in your grade 3? That's funny. Alright, fair enough. I guess... Oh, because if you like wrote down into grade 2... fair. Okay, cool. Because sometimes you can write down into grade 2. So I guess it was saying like how the auto ability will want to trigger of the NLK first. And go into grade 2 and then stride into this after. Because you can do something like that. Hey Ashwin, how you doing? Okay, cool. Counterblast 1, discard 5 cards from your hand and stride this card on your Vanguard circle as stand from face down. When this unit attacks a Vanguard's, when this unit displays a Vanguard circle, if your deck has 13 or less cards, choose up to 3 critical triggers from your soul, return them to your deck and shuffle. The discard 5 is kind of rough, but you do build a lot of hand, especially if you go with the Darkness build. This feels like it's more focused on Darkness, like some of the Darkness cards. It's not that bad. You could go like NLK style combo, and especially if you're playing Werewolf, not Seeger, the one that goes into soul and you draw a card with CB, but it's also costs a CB too. You're going through so much CB to be able to make this work. You have the 5 to discard, but damn bro, it's rough. This card is pretty decent with Vega Steel. It could work, especially if you're putting cards back into it. It's 13 or more cards too, and you do get like, for every battle step, start of battle, so you do get to rewrite into Vega Steel or Bastion. You get to do some pretty cheeky stuff. Because your front row gets power off of the Gastille, if you want to. You can make a pure Bastion list, not Bastion, not Bastion. What's his name again? Bar Magnus, there we go. You can make pure Bar Magnus if you would want to. But I mean, Elokia Bar Magnus is probably like the only thing we have going on for us right now. You can have more decks focused around you hitting more draw triggers if you want to. It's okay. It's alright. I mean, I'll put it at Savior. Oh, not Battles. I'll put it at Savior because this is probably like the only thing I would ever see them stride into. Incidentally, you know, if they have like, I don't feel like pitching so much for it. You could just basically go into Balam. You can go into Ball. It's not the worst thing. Or you could go into this. You rarely stride anyway, unless you're playing Blade Wings. Now, we have Pale Moon, Trenchant, Megatrick, Leontina. So when it attacks, Counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, put all your rear guards into your soul, choose up to 2 cards from your soul for each card put, and call to rearguard circle. If you called 4 or more different created cards, until end of turn, your opponent would call 2 or more from their hand to Guardian Circle. They must call, you have to call 2 or more at the same time. Yes, the last parade, the circus, the wild tricks, the mega tricks, as one will put it. This card is good. This card is good. I just think this card's good. I don't know if you would ever want to go this over Yvette and Dark Lord Princess, but this is a good finisher if you don't want to have to force yourself to go into Dust. This is a good card. Period. This card's good. I don't know if it's Savior, because Dust is also really good, but this is good when your opponent at 5 damage. I guess you could just do it to reduce their power, but if our hand is like 7 to 8 cards, they're not really living this turn from this card anyway, and especially if you're attacking first and then attacking with other stuff after. Yeah, there are especially if you're set up already. Like, sometimes it can be better than Dark Lord turn. Yes. Yeah, you're right. And I have been trying to find space for a new card, so I will probably be taking out 1 Dark Lord Princess for this Trenchant. I can see it. I also still need Fairfield. I don't own a Fairfield. I wanted to probably try to see if I can squeeze a Fairfield in the list, but I don't own one. So, alas. It's an okay card. It's alright. I would put it up there. I'm putting it up there. That a Battle Door effect is worth it. A lot of these cards are coming up the Savior route. I ain't gonna lie to you. Gear Chronicle. Let's take a look at this from the Dark States here. How many Dark Lords am I running? I was running 3 because I don't own a Fairfield. I was only running 3. Usually only go into 2 of them. You really don't go into the 3rd one because you can actually just stride up you can just stride into the face-up Magias that you have face-up. The face-up Magia cards that you have, you can just stride into those. But yeah. I just need space. I have so much space already in my G zone already, so I might as well, you know. Okay. Highbrow Steam, because I'm playing Silverthorn. And with Silverthorn, you usually going more into Yvette than you would go into Masquerade Masquerade. Because you kind of reset the same amount because of cards like Salady. Not Salady, but what's her face again? The one that calls 2. But you have around the same amount of attacks. Especially if you have the Zelma plus the grade 2. That's 1 CB. With a Yvette, you basically get the same amount. So Dark Lord Yvette gives you the same amount as a Harry turn would. With a bit more power. For at least Silverthorn. Highbrow Steam Schlischma. Auto. Once per turn, when its unit attacks, cost. Bind front row rear guard and turn a card face up in your G zone. Okay. It's pretty alright. Choose up to 2 cards from your bind zone column to rear guard circle. All of your front row gets plus 10k until end of turn. If it would give power for like every 2 cards in your bind zone, 2 to 3 cards in your bind zone, I would say yes. 10k seems kind of, but it's fine. I think all the other cards kind of do the same thing too. This one gives 10k, this one gives a force marker, this one gets a absurd amount of power, this resends your rear guards for you, this gives 10k power. Yeah, so it's a very recurring trend that they're trying to keep the power threshold very tame. They don't want to go overboard where in some of the older days we would have skills that gives us or give our front or rear guards plus 15k power or buying 15 million cards from your opponent sort of thing. They're being a little conservative with how much stuff that we're getting off of effects like this. Alright, and then auto in your G zone at the end of battle, your grade 3 Vanguard, your grade 3 rear guard attacked. If this card is face up, cost Soul Blast 1, bind that unit and call this to rear guard circle. This is okay. Because if you have the piano, the gear piano, that says when it's placed, bind a card from your hand, you can guard your strict with this. You can kind of attack with that, especially on a force marker if you're playing something like any form of the Gear Chronicle stuff, the V Gear Chronicle stuff. The ones especially on their first grade 3 turn, they can have maybe 2 force markers. You can get some pretty decent swings with it. Attack with 23, then 25. And if you have 2 of these face up, especially if you turn another one face up, the turn after, you can get like a decent amount of multi attacks going. Grog Rock into the Mystery Flare turn, you know. And you get to reset your turn again, stride again if you want to. You have a lot of stuff. You have a lot of play. You have a lot of play going into this. So it's not bad. You have a lot to go off of. All right. Let's see. I've been playing Vanguard EX a little. Finally got to play Vanguard with the original card rule set as I wanted. And it's really good. Yeah. A lot of people were playing that for a while. It's really good. But it's JP exclusive, so you don't have access to multiplayer because you're playing the PC version. Yeah, you're playing the PC version. You can cut down the tiers if I want. Maybe in a minute. You mean like this here? Like, I want to put... Wait, where is it? I want to put this up here. I want to put this up here so bad, but I can't. That's my own biases. I can't do that. Nah, it's fine. We can keep it just like this. This gives us a good like objective reasoning to how we feel about some of these things. And this can stay. This is fine. This is the best of them, I feel. Spikes is the best, then OTT, then Murakumo. I think Murakumo is kind of insane. Then this. I mean, it's your list, right? Exactly. I mean, it's Jack's too. You're close to putting BT there. Yeah, fair enough. You're finally at least able to play the original rules you always wanted since I first saw Vanguard. You could always do remote fighting, you know that, Chaos? Like, didn't you pick up any stuff for Overdress? Sorry, I love this song. I love this song a lot. Have you not been able to? So, Shlishma. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll put it the same way up here. Then we have Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda. Radiate. Ocean. Helltrotter. She gives me that health trauma, I'll tell you that much. Jesus. Stride Step. So, we have Stride here. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, discard 3 cards from your hand. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Discarding 3, that's crazy. That's pretty bad. We should probably put in Gold Paladin tier already. Keg W /J/J. Return all cards in your circle other than your Vanguard to your hand are ready and out against Ling Joker. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand, call them to rearguard circle. At the end of battle, cost Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Put its unit into your G zone face up and choose one of your Vanguards and stand it. This is perfect in everything, almost. Basically everything, because it's good in Riviere. Because you can Superior Ride into this. It's good in Prism because Vert is good still. You gain force markers. Ange also good because you can tutor cards. It's just good. It's good because you get power, force markers, drive shot. This card is good. Got Tirwa. You can also go into Tirwa too as your main Vanguard ride. Yeah, this is almost man worthy already. This is up here. This is nasty. She nasty. She's way up here. Kinda wanna put her ban worthy already. There's just so much stuff that she synergizes with. It's actually sickening. Oh, actually ended up missing the Pirate King of Darkness, Bartholomew. What an interesting name though. It's like, oh, you are the Pirate King of Darkness. What's your name? A Darkness Pirate? Bartholomew. Okay, I like his artwork though. It's kind of sick. Have this whole like vampire thing going, right? It's a vampire, right? Yeah, it's a vampire. So we have Stride. When this card attacks, Counter Blast 1, choose up to 3 cards with different names from your drop zone column to rear guard circle. Period. This is just good. Darknesses. Darknesses. When this unit attacks, Counter Blast 1, choose up to 3 different card names from your drop zone. So it's a Obadiah if you're set up already, so you don't have to play a second Obadiah to search more stuff. But you usually go into the second Obadiah because you're still missing pieces sometimes. But this is not an upgrade, this is a side grade. The Counter Blast 1 is a bit of a And then it has continuous Vanguard Circle. If your drop zone has 30 or more cards, When your opponent would call cards from their hand to Guardian Circle, they must call 3 or more. Okay, so this also synergizes really well with a other Grand Blue card. Let's see if I can find it for you guys so I can show it to you. So this combo deck that's been going around currently. Where is it? This is grade 3. It's not Skull Dragon. Is it Foreboding Ghost Ship? No, that's not it. Beatrice, Baskirk, King Tentacle. This one here. Seabed Demon Scare Deck. Sure. Act. Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. If your drop zone has 30 or more cards, discard all cards in your hand. This unit gets played 30k until end of turn. So it becomes 42 on its own. And I think there's like a combo with it that allows you to... Yo, that deck as well, it is. I still don't understand how they can attack from the back row yet though. Does anybody know? Like, I don't know how they're attacking from the back row. Does it have something to do with Magnolia? I'll read Magnolia for a second. Because does it give ability to attack from the back row the whole turn? No, right? Yeah, I saw it in the tournament stream too. No, but that's the thing, right? That's the thing I don't understand. That they're attacking from back row while they're not on Magnolia. You see what I mean? Or if they're on Magnolia, but they're still attacking from back row with the other ships. I don't get it. It's not in the front row, it's in the back row. And they're attacking with it from the back row. So you just bad bounty in Magnolia? No, they were on Obadiah. I can show you the replay too. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Like, I was watching it too, I was like, how did they do this? I was like, I kind of remember most of these card effects. How did you... Alright, so let's mute this here for a second. So like here, right? Oh, wait, is it with this? This card? Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. Ignore any Ed you see in chat. No worries, man. I want to find the Magnolia name. We find Magnolia name. Then we find the support cards that are for it. That's not it. Why didn't it put any support? Why didn't it put any support cards for it, bro? Come on. That's a waste of time. I'm looking for the grade 2. I don't need to search through all of these. Fine. No. Daimaru? Daimaru. Yeah, you picked up a new premium deck, and so I may just slap cards or something later. Sure, I'm down. I'm always down to play. What's the full name of the card name? Okay, wait. Daimaru. Ah, thank you. Okay. Choose one of your other rear guards. Okay, so you call multiple copies of this card up, and then you basically... Okay. You don't know why the link broke? I don't know why. I think it probably has like a set amount of characters that you can put up. But no problem, Poppy. It's okay, dude. But Chaos, don't you have any... Didn't you buy any Card for Vanguard product before? Like any of the starter decks and stuff when it came out in D series? Like you should have access to it, right? And it should be pretty easy to come by. Yeah. So this is okay. So this makes sense. No? Why? Why not? Okay. Okay, so it targets this. This card, I don't know what that does. Okay, now I got it. Okay. So you did this a couple of times. Okay. While being on Magnolia. Alright. Okay. I've never played the original rules, only 0. Pick up the cards, bro. Easy. Can help you out, bro. Zanist over here. The grade 2 calls a grade 0 when you call it. Ah, okay. So then you can call your stand triggers and stuff out of your drop zone, especially if you use them to guard with. Oh! Or you can also call Banshees to draw extra cards. Then that gives a soul for this grade 2, so whenever you call that, you could target your grade 3s in the back. Yo, this deck seems kinda sickening. I ain't gonna lie. Hi, Kyle. I don't usually buy TCG cards. You play the digital versions. And you're not really a fan of Card Fight Area. He did all those things. Grand Blue versus Goals. Kinda, yeah. It's a combo deck. We could look at this in a second after we're done with the review. We're kinda like we're on the last legs here. I like this card. That's my takeaway from this. Where do we put it? Where do we put it? I accidentally clicked away from everything, I think. But in combination with that, with Bartholomew, you can get some really cheeky plays with guard restricts plus criticals and stuff. Since both of them synergize with the same thing, they're asking for extra criticals. And this is the on attack skill. So you can leave you can't leave 2 in the drop. That sucks because act skill. You can still call Skull Dragons after you're done with effect. Especially if you call like 1 or 2 after your attack with both of your 30Ks. So you call your grade 2s, right? You call your grade 2s to the back row. Not back row. To the front row. They give the skill to the back row region to attack with. Then you attack with them with boost or whatever. Then you call your Skull Dragons plus this. and then if you have any stand triggers left, which is highly likely the case, you stand the units that you need to. So you stand like, man, there's so much stuff. And that Grand Blue version can superior, right? Yeah, it does, because it also plays the what's it called again? God, they're so old. The ones that used to Soul Blast and retire one, used to be able to Soul Blast retire one to call it the Deadly Spirits, right? Is what we were called. Nightly Spirits, Deadly Spirits. It's so old. It's so old archetype. So yeah, this does give a lot of playability, so you can superior rider your opponent. I rate it godlike. It's pretty good. I rated it really, really good. I mean, being able to have a Night Rose strike turn on your opponent, like on your opponent while you're doing this, is really nice. I don't know if you want to do this over something like Bad Bounty, but this is still good though. I don't see not. I don't see why not. It seems pretty insane. Because if you go Bad Bounty, right, and you ride Magnolia from your drop zone, I wanted to see some of the rules for Persona Ride for a second. I wanted to see the rules for Persona Ride. When your normal units... Okay, so Superior Ride doesn't trigger. Alright, cool. I just wanted to make sure, like, what was the terminology. So when you ride or just... Okay, good. Cool. I mean, it's still good. But you can still Bad Bounty. You can still Bad Bounty into it, so that's fine. So you can go, like, Beatrice into Magnolia. Then call 2 of the grade 3s. 2 of the grade 3s attack. Bad Bounty attacks. Stand trigger, stand trigger, stand trigger. Discard 3. Go Magnolia. Attack with Magnolia. End battle. You choose one of the other ones in the back row. Maybe you hit a stand trigger, maybe you don't if you have enough cards left. But usually you have like 5 to 6 cards still left, so even if you attack with 3, then attack with 2, you're not hitting any draws, so you're still fine. So you can restand the crits, units with crits on them. And then the other one in the back row that probably has crits too. And it probably has another 5k on it because of the Vanguard. So god man, that's actually pretty crazy. Or you could even Persona Ride that turn, and when you normal ride into a Bad Bounty turn, it's by discarding another Magnolia or something. And it's just so much play. God, man. Why do Grand Blue get so much good toys? It's insane. Alright, and now we have Radiant. No, we already did that one. We have Blue Furious Charged Dragon. Faragius Dragon. Sure. Sure, why not? Alright, let's move these two over there to watch a bit later. But how was everybody's weekend going, by the way? How's everybody doing? Everybody's been sick. Getting sick recently, so hopefully you guys have been staying and keeping healthy. Let's see. At the end of battle, let's see that attack cost. Counterblast 1, return a card. Turn a card from EG zone face up. If you get an imaginary, give Force Marker, Axel, and choose the same number of rear guards as the same number of cards in EG zone and stand them. Pretty good. Do they gain power? Then choose up to one of your rear guards and move to open additional rear guard circle, and it gets +10. Okay. So you can probably target like a tidal assault and give that power, move from the back row to the front, or you can move one of the other rear guards that have an ability that it restands itself to on an attack. Have you been working? Ooh. And playing something like Blue Wave, especially if you're playing something like Vaios, it feeds into its skill of eating one of your own axle markers to be able to get your Megiddo-like skills off. I don't know if that's worth it, but hey, it's an option if you want to. I don't think Vaios has any hard cards needed, right? There are some Blue Wave cards you do need to have. You want to play this in Maelstrom? Also fine. But usually Maelstrom have their own first ride, right? That they set up for. And they have like a lot of draw. So I don't even know if you really want to go into something like this. It does give you a lot of multi-attack though. But sometimes you want to retire from your opponent's stuff. This is not a strict upgrade, this is a side grade. You just choose whether or not you want to go into this or not, dependent on the situation. This does cost a CB, so you have to be very careful, not eating through too much CB. I like it though. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's like the savior. Yeah, side grade is the theme of Premium Collection. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this is a pretty okay card. And then you take a hot second to think about, oh, but then I kind of want to go into that. But then you go again and you're like, oh, yeah, but what about this situation? This is pretty good in case this situation happens. And that's kind of like these cards, you know? Like, oh, my board is already set up and I kind of don't want to commit more. I kind of want to be okay with what I got already. And I have stuff in my Excel marker. I think I'll do it with this, you know? I always love more options, exactly. It's just more stuff your opponent needs to keep in consideration with, you know? I like it. So, on the Storkea, on more Storkea stuff, we have Poison Evil Mutant Deity Maligantis. We have Vanguard Circle G-Zone. Once per turn. If this unit is on Vanguard Circle, this cost may be paid with turn a card from your G-Zone face up, so you can flip a copy of itself if you want, if you play multiple copies. And you can play multiple copies because your G-Zone in any version of Mega Colony is basically 4 copies of Ghidorah and featuring whatever spice of life that you feel like playing with. I like it for rebuilding Axa markers against Chaos or standing the board against Order Colony. Yeah, I like it too. Because it restands your board, plus it gives you another regard in your back row to attack with, which is also kind of sexy. Then choose one of your opponent's stand rear guards and retire it. If a card will be retired, this is pretty good too. What's pretty insane about this as well is that if you cradled one of your opponent's cards, right, and they still have it stood and they didn't rest to attack with it, you can kill it. You can kill it and search. So you can, if you're playing any of your Stoicheia PGs or any of your Mega Colony PGs, right? You can just search for PGs and just add them to your hand and set up with for next turn, or you can search up for another grade 2 or grade 3 or anything else that you need. That is pretty sickening. I like it. I like it a lot. And you also have another skill, Kanabas. Put a regard into your soul, so you can choose any of your grade 3s or any of your grade 1s that become a grade 3, and then you put it into your soul. So then this also coincides with the other grade 1 that gives you a protect marker. So if you're playing something like Order Colony, you can suit up and get situated. This is so good. This is such a good card. I can't stop gushing over this stride. Every time I'm reading each of the text, I'm like, yo, there's so much issues that Mega Colony sometimes had. It's really good. Hey Watts, how you doing? We're currently recording a YouTube video for YouTube at the moment. It's gonna be a lot to edit out of, but it's fine. It's fine. And if a card was retired, if no cards were retired, then choose one of your opponent's Vanguard to get minus 10k. That's crazy. Minus 10. And especially if you're doing your Ghidorah multi-attack turn, minus 10 to your opponent while you're also getting plus 10 and you're possibly on a Persona right turn if you're playing Order Colony. Oh god, it's sickening. So much good stuff. I say yes. I say yes to it. It's really good. It's not a strict upgrade over Ghidorah, but it's sort of like it's the face-up G-Zone card that we've needed for years. And this makes it so much better. Sorry, JJ. No, what? It's okay. I'm keeping all of the interaction stuff that I do with you guys in the video, so it's fine. I'm just gonna need to like cut out a lot of the dead air. You know, the stuff when I go like oh, you know, all that stuff. I'm contemplating our life choices. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Well, it's fine. Trying out something new. Omniscience Dragon Caladrius. Gold Paladin in its own tier? Yes. Yep. Next to Kagura. Both of them in the gold Paladin tier. The man became so smart, he became a dragon. That's so crazy. I love it. And then it has a skill, choose a card face up choose a card from your card. Choose a card from your G-Zone and turn it face up. Choose all of your front row rear guards. If they get plus 10k until end of turn, and at end of turn retire them. So cool thing if you're playing this in Big Belly. You destride first before resolving to retire. Then when this unit attacks cost, Counterblast 1, choose one of your 30k or greater rear guards and stand it. Power dragons are a thing now? Exactly. It's pretty foul, I think. You'd have to be pretty bird brain not to play this card. If you're playing this in Isabel, then lucky you. Let's see, then Counterblast 1. Choose one of your 30k rear guards and stand it. It gets when this unit attacks until end of battle, your opponent will call cards from their hand to guard your circle. You must call 3 or more cards at the same time at the end of the turn. This plus Rhino is insane. Simple. This gets 10k from the front, right? And if you go like Axel 1, so 21, 31 already. So it's already successed. It's already successed already. Or if you choose one of your other rear guards that can give it power, right? Would you say this card? Yeah, it's pretty fly. It is pretty fly. You probably ruffle a couple of people's feathers with playing this. Oh, the resist card, I forgot his name. It's gonna be good with his strat. Yeah, it is. It is. Or you can divide the guards restrict on multiple units too. Because this could target a different unit, Rhino could be targeted by himself because he gets plus 10k already. So it becomes 21 on his own, 26 on a Axel marker. So he already has Guard Restrict on his own already. And then you could give Guard Restrict to another unit that also needs that power too. If you drive into something like a critical, God, man. Lord have mercy. Lord of mercy. So much extra pressure. So much extra pressure, man. It's crazy. All your rear guards are getting retired too, so I'd recommend playing this in something like Big Belly, or if you know that you can just try finish off your opponent, try go for it, because you're gonna lose a lot of resources after you finish using this skill, like a lot, and especially if you're playing like an Axel archetype, and you're like, I really can't really retire a lot of my stuff. It's gonna hurt you a lot. So playing this in Big Belly is probably more advised. And you could go into Axel 1 if you're playing Big Belly, because they draw their stuff off the retiring, and most of your strides like Battle Wool and Caladrius on your first stride do this thing for you. Guard Restrict first turn, good. Anything that gives Guard Restrict on your first grade 3 on your first stride turn is pretty good already in my book. Guard Restrict is a very some decks don't respect you if you have it, you know? And especially when an archetype like Great Nature that can get resist pretty easily out of nowhere, you can get disrespected because they think, you're playing with cute little pets. But a lot of those pets are currently taking some of that, no, never mind. I'm not gonna add any more to that. I was gonna make like a Barry Bonds reference, but I was like, never mind. Let's see. Flower Princess of Compassion. Ladislava. Let's see what we did to her. Cost Counterblast 1. Cost discard 1. My brain saw Counterblast 1. It's an act skill. Choose one of your rear guards, search up to 2 cards with the same name as that unit, reveal them. Choose 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, call rest to rear guard circle, shuffle your deck. So this is sort of like the Murukumo stride, but different. This doesn't send back your rear guard back to deck, which is way worse. Hi Xelix, how you doing? This is way worse. This feels worse than the Murukumo stride. Why does it? It calls... Yeah, no. And no. When it's unit attacks, Counterblast 1. If you have 2 more rear guards with the same card name, choose 2 of them.
Welcome to the neighborhood. Thanks for moving in.
Yo, I've been doing an assignment for a week and I'm dead. Hi Sushi Slayer, thank you for 14 whole months, dude. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome all the way back. Counterblast or Restad 2. 2 more year rear guards that have the same name. Choose 2 of them and stat them. This kinda allows Bloom to be a thing again. It's kinda allows Bloom to be its own thing again. This is a better than nothing stride. This is a it should be fine copium for me. Straight up. It's waiting for my money from my relations. You're buying Hexar that you share with me? Yeah, you're buying it for like 25 bucks. Most of those cards on its own, I think most of the cards on its own is already 20 already. We'll take a look at the market in a second. Wait, JJ, what? Completed the second last step of a job application? Hell yeah, let's go! Financial security, yes! No way you're putting Narishrai this low? Yes. Stunverse exists. If you're playing Eradicator, which is for some, arguably the best version of Narukami at the moment. You get infinitely more power than this, and Stunverse draws you a bit more cards. This is a good first turn stride though. It is a parallel version to it. So I guess, sorry, maybe I shouldn't say it's a better version. It's a side stride. It is a option if your opponent is not letting you play the game by not giving you stuff in your drop zone on time, or if your opponent is playing Bell for some odd reason and dumping their cards back into the drop zone, or if you don't have a lot of stuff in the bind zone that accumulated for you, Stunverse does become a bit weaker, correct? That's true. But I put it there because I thought, well, Stunverse is still too good of a card not to use, and this is good into Axel matchups, right? Is just me, or is the Katarina stride feels like the Spike stride feels like Katarina? It's better. It's better than Katarina ever could have been, I feel. Way better. My friend suggested for you to complete the deck instead of securing Seraph Pure Light. That is very expensive. But the deck you're buying is not really 100% complete, no, because you don't have Overtrigger. You need to cut a Sanctuary Overtrigger still. So Katarina could come back to 1. I feel like it could. I'd rather not, because you also have the Wind Elemental, the other Elemental actually, the one that gives normal units power, because then you could just build towards that. The theme of Prima Collection is to restrict a card and cause problems in Prima Collection. So JJ questioned, what do you think will cause the most? Oh, Cyclone? Thank you, Match. The Naru Stride just punishes for trying to play around Stunverse, basically. Exactly, Mash. That's basically what it is. That's what a lot of these cards are, especially the ones from Dragon Empire. They punish your opponent playing around your mechanic. Like, I'm probably going to still play the Kagero Stride, the one that gets power, because I have space in my G zone for like maybe playing like one Zamburst and stuff. Like, I have enough space to play enough of these, right, in my G zones, because you've been playing like 3 to 4 copies of certain cards you barely go into, or if you go into, you maybe go into it once before you die or you kill your opponent, and there's moments where you're like, damn, damn, I'd rather had something else. And a lot of these cards that we see here right now today are basically, this is the other thing I could be doing. You know? A lot of these cards are like, this is the other thing that I could be doing. And that's the ideology you're supposed to go with this. A lot of these cards you can say, oh, are objectively better, objectively worse. Sure, you can go with that as like a in a vacuum sort of analogy. Sure, you can go with like, in a vacuum, this is better than that one. Well, that's not the point of Vanguard. These are potential situations. And that's what this whole set is about. It's just potential situations that, like, a lot of issues that archetypes have going in. Sometimes they get, like, damage denied, damage mitigated. They might not have the resources to basically keep on playing the game because they're being choked out by a certain resource or drawing, like very ineffectively sort of thing. This just fills that slot. I bricked the entire day during that tournament. I'll take top 8. Yo, same. Mash? Same. Not happy about it? No, of course not. Especially if you like bricked or you just not being able to play the game because you're just dying to triggers or just random stuff. Like, you literally watching your hand, you can't guard, especially if you mulligan pretty effectively too. And you're like, I just drew all my normal units, I can't guard anything. Or I just drew half my deck of grade 3s that I'm only running like 7 or 8 of. You're like, this is my life, I guess. Yep, this is Vanguard. Not cleaning business with vacuums, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me with a lot of these stuff. Like, oh my god, it's idiot. He doesn't know anything. Like, why did he put this so low? Why did he put this one so high? And I'll just only give you the argument of, think of situations where some of these cards can be applied in, and not just first stride situations. Think of what your second or third stride could look like, or think of what your first stride could look like if your hand is very weak, and this is, or very strong, because a few of these cards are, if you have an established board, you stride this because going into your other stride that sets you up again is redundant. I feel like Kagero could have gotten a stride that draws cards. They can't. They have to get cards that give you drive checks. Like, Blade Master is the only archetype that allows you to draw cards, and that archetype has not been seen in years. Like, you could probably play Blade Master with the new Premium Collection stride, because Blade Master does punish your opponent for not committing a board, because you actually get power for every open rearguard circle they have on board. So you could hit pretty decent thresholds of that one grade 2 can become like a 29k attacker, which is not bad. If you're running any stand triggers and stuff, like your blaze cards are gonna trigger a lot more if you're playing Cohen, the Blade Master Cohen. Oh, how's the ruling work, man? Yeah, but I'm fine with Kagero not getting draw cards. I just wanted it to do something different, and it did something different, but it's not the different that I wanted. But I'm fine being the Ryu. It's okay being Ryu in this version of Street Fighter. It's okay. Alright. So, we're done currently with this for now.
Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. In other words, I love